I hope you're ready for some math, because this lesson is all about operations, and operations are all about math. Like data sources, the operations hold numbers that other tools and objects can use. However, most operations get that number by performing mathematical calculations. First, we have the distance operator. This is the least mathematical of the operations. It simply calculates the distance between two objects. In the properties, we have three options to check out. Type determines how the operator will calculate the distance. World uses full 3D space, while plane only uses horizontal distance. Height is not taken into account. The height setting, however, calculates only vertical distance. And finally, driving line only uses the length of the driving line. Select source 1 and 2 are how you choose which items it uses. So for example, if you want to calculate the distance of the bike on the driving line, you could set source 1 as the starting checkpoint, and source 2 would be the bike. One thing to note here is that if one object is static and the other is moving, it's a good idea to select the static object as source 1. For example, with height, the operator takes the height of source 1 and subtracts it from the height of source 2. As a result, if source 2 is below source 1, the value you get will be negative. Next, we'll look at the two input operator. As the name implies, this tool will use two values to calculate its own value. Our first property is operation. This is of course how the operator will calculate its value. We have many options here that range from simple addition to some more complex calculation methods. Too many to describe here. Check the video description for a link to more info on the various mathematical operations. Next, of course, we have our two values. Like the generic filter we discussed in the last lesson, you will always want to have at least one of these values tied to a data source. If both values are manually set, the result of the calculation will always be the same. That leads us to the n input operator. This one is similar to the two input operator, but can use many values to calculate its own. The n input operator has a few less operations, but most of the options are also ones that were available in the two input operator. Again, check the video description for links if you want a math lesson. Using select operands, you can select all of the data sources and operations you wish to combine. Finally, we have the one input operator. This one uses only one value and some math to create a new number. Operation chooses how you will manipulate the value. Again, many different options, so check the links for more info. The operand you're going to want to tie to a data source or another operation. Just like with previous tools, if your starting value is always the same, then your resulting value will always be the same as well.